Hey, what up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Golf Parfection podcast. In this one, I'm pretty much going to recount my day of the 2019 Masters on a Thursday. So yes, I got lucky enough to attend the Masters via the lottery, and it was a great one to attend, obviously, because Tiger Woods won. That being said, I did purchase a journal at the airport for like $6 to log my day. So I have timestamps and little descriptions of what I was doing at that time. And so this is meant to help those who are potentially going to the Masters for the first time. I know things may have changed a little bit, but yeah. So if you have questions on, when should you go, when should you, show up to line up at the gate, this will be my experience, and then you can kind of, derive your game plan around that. So let's jump right into it. And yeah, if you want to just read my journal entries, I'll have a link in the description below and go through it that way. But I'll give a little bit more details on the video. And also, if you've attended the Masters, leave a comment down below saying, what day you went and any tips and tricks that you have that you thought you wish you knew before attending. So let's jump right into it. So this first journal entry was actually from the night before, and pretty much, if you didn't know, like at the Masters you get a chair, and then pretty much you get to put the chair down and no one is allowed to touch it. So a lot of people focus and prioritize where they want to put their chair when they first get onto the grounds, and you can't run, you're not supposed to run, but the people walk briskly to go put their chair down. And obviously on Sunday a lot of people will probably prioritize the 18th green, but on Thursdays, popular places are like Amen Corner or the green at 16. So yeah, I was kind of planning on where I wanted to go. My dad didn't have too much input. He just said, I'll do what you do. Pretty much, yeah, I was planning it out. And the only other thing that I kind of planned it out also was when to wake up. So I woke up at 6 a.m. and then pretty much planned out the merch that I wanted to purchase at the store. And so I had a list that I wanted to get, like golf towel, hat, a polo, flag, a drawstring bag, and then like a ball marker. And so yeah, I found some other stuff that I got in addition to that, but that was my game plan the night before. It's like, hey, I agreed with my dad, like, where do we want to go put our chairs down? And then obviously, what do we want to buy from the store? Because if you buy stuff in the morning, you're losing precious time in which you can put your chair down in a good spot when the gates open and you can go onto the golf course. So here we go. I did rank all the food as well, but I'm going to do another video a little bit down the road here about the food, so I won't go over that, but you can read it if you look at the post. But pretty much, like the post says, we stayed at a Motel 6. It was super close to the golf course, and honestly, it wasn't the greatest hotel, but it got the job done because we didn't even use it for that much. So we stayed at a Motel 6, allowed us to like go a different route and not on this Washington road that was super busy. So that was nice, but they handled traffic pretty well at Augusta. And so we woke up at 6 a.m., got ready by 6:17, and we were out the door, and the weather looked pretty dang good. So 6:17 we left at the Motel 6, and then we ended up parking, which the parking lot itself had a ton of like gas generated lights, and so they know how to run the event. They were guiding people into the parking lot, but don't forget where you parked your car, because you're not going to have your phone on you, right? And so you can't like take a picture of your spot or use your GPS to relocate your cart afterwards. So we left our phones in the car, kind of had to really remember where to go. The parking lot situation, it's massive, so don't forget where you parked your car. So we were waiting for the gates to open, and at 7 a.m., that's when the gates open. Took about a couple minutes to get through security. And then the first thing around 7:13 started shopping. And so the shopping experience was pretty crazy. The gift shop is massive. There are master branded things like everywhere. I mean, obviously that's what you go for. I'm wearing a shirt right now that's green. I got another shirt that's black. Everything pretty much fit true to size, maybe a little bit bigger. Usually I'm a 2XL in a lot of things, but I got an XL there. And this fits me perfectly fine. I got things like, I got multiple hats. We had family members that we wanted to buy stuff for as well. So we ended up spending quite a bit of money, but they get you through quick. The service is good. Masters merchandise all around. now that I've bought all the stuff and it's been a couple years, the stuff that I use still consistently on a normal basis, I don't even wear the green shirt all that much because it's very green. And if you don't like wearing the color green because it's really bright, then it might not be the best use of your money. But I still use my shoe bag tote that, I use, to carry my golf shoes. I use that every single time. That's probably my favorite thing that I use the most. And then I think other than that, like I did buy some posters that I have framed up around my house. And obviously this flag I use as decoration behind me. That's from the 2019 Masters. It says 2019 on it. And those are probably like my favorite items. Everyone has like things that they like to buy, at golf tournaments. So think about that. And if you want that Masters logo on it, because you can't get it anywhere else. So after shopping, after we, finished checking out, they have a shipping area for you to ship out your items so you don't have to carry them around all day with you at the tournament. So obviously there's an associated cost with that, but we ended up doing that. And pretty much, it made life so much easier. So we don't have to lug around all this stuff because we bought quite a bit of things so we can give back to family members at home, bought hats and all that stuff. So shipped back a lot of stuff, and it was all fine. It was just right next door. One thing that we did buy, and I do recommend, is obviously, okay, I'm talking about putting your chairs down, right? So we bought our chairs at the golf course. And so I have a cool little Masters chair. I think the rule is they can't have armrests. So it might be hard to find chairs that don't have armrests that you can take to the tournament. Some people brought, like we were flying back, or we were flying to the tournament, and people had their chairs with them as their check-on. So yeah, veterans of the tournament, they already have their chairs, but we didn't have them, and we ended up shipping them back home after the day was done. But pretty much, yeah, grab a chair there, and so you can get the chair. And then once we were done shopping, we started our way to the main, I guess, opening ceremony, which was around like 8 o'clock. And like around 8:13, the ceremony started. Fred Ridley, the chairman there, he ended up speaking for a bit. And then we had Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus, tee off. So I made notes here that Gary Player striped it and down the middle, but Jack Nicklaus, he hit it up the left-hand side. Didn't look all that happy about it. But, once that was done, about 8:28, what we did first, rather than just go put our chairs down again, we ended up taking a picture at the front of the clubhouse. This is the one that pretty much they have like 3 photo stations, and they tell you, there's a pretty long line where you can get an actual photo, taken of you, and then they give you a card where you can just download the digital image and then print it however you want. But that was something we prioritized because we wanted to get that out of the way, get that one picture. But it's probably like my favorite keepsake of the tournament, if I'm being honest, because it's a picture with my dad. So, that only took, let's see, we got in line at 8:28. And then we were done by 8:47. So it took about 20 minutes to get through that line. But that was the first thing that we did just to make sure we had, that keepsake. And then it was off to the races. So after 8:47, we, ran but we walked really quickly. And then at 9 a.m., we decided to set our chairs down at Amen Corner. So this might be where you want to kind of pick and choose what you want to do. So because we took some time to get the picture, we lost some time to put down our chairs in a really good spot. I think our spot was pretty decent. We were in Amen Corner, but there was like a bunch of chairs already set out that were right up against the ropes, and we weren't that close against the ropes, but there's a lot of good vantage points from a lot of different places, and you don't have to be close up against it to get a good viewing experience, in my opinion. But if you're up against the ropes, that's the closest you can get to the players, obviously. So yeah, Amen Corner at 12, you could see 11, 12, and then 13, they're like really far back. So it's hard to see. I don't even think you can see them on 13 because there's trees. But yeah, Amen Corner, a great place to be. And then you can see people, trying to throw darts on that really small 12 green. So yeah, at 9 a.m., we sent down our chairs. Wasn't the best, maybe because we took too much time to get a picture, but not the worst by any means. And I'm glad we got the picture. I didn't have to wait all that long. So that being said, 9:10, we got our first round of food. I got the ice cream sandwich, which they don't have anymore. It's going to be something different. I think it's going to be like a berry flavored ice cream sandwich, but I got the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich. Talk more about food in another episode, but all I remember is that one being very kind of almost sickly. It's so sugary and so sweet that, and I'm not a huge sweet guy, but if you really like sweets, it was really peachy ice cream, peach cookies, I believe, and a really tasty, but really, really sweet. And yeah, one thing I want to say about the food, and also the merchandise, I feel like the merchandise is pretty fairly priced. They don't try to super gouge you. Don't get me wrong, it is on the expensive side, but it's fair because it's limited, and it's fair because, you know, you can't get it anywhere else. That being said, the food is really affordable, but it's not like super blow your mind good. Even the pimento cheese sandwich, it's okay. You know, if you like pimento cheese, then you're gonna like the sandwich, but it's not like earth-shattering in my opinion. And all the other food, it wasn't like, whoa, this is like really good stadium food. I mean, stadium food at different events for different sports can vary really widely too, but it's no better than your basic stadium food at any event that you've been to. So yeah, like don't go in there trying to like feel super impressed. I mean, the pimento cheese sandwich is probably the most unique thing that is, and the ice cream sandwich is probably the most unique things that pertain to the event. But yeah, they charge very little, and they don't even allow branded or like brands to like advertise or market in there. So you're gonna get like sports drink, you're gonna get like so like just soda, like cola, and like regular beer, light beer. Like they don't allow, and I'm not sure what kind of beer it is, but they don't allow, you know, those brands to be shown anywhere. And then they cut that marketing expense, or not marketing expense, but they pretty much don't market all that stuff, and they leave it generic, and they just try to keep it as cheap as possible for the patrons. So that's a tidbit about the food. So coming here down, like, yeah, at 9:10 we got the first round of food, and then at 10 o'clock our first spot to watch some actual golf. So, you know, gates open at 7, and we finally started watching golf at 10 o'clock. So yeah, that's kind of giving you the timeline of things around here. And during these times, we're just walking the course. I mean, bring comfortable walking shoes. Don't bring golf shoes. Bring like tennis shoes that you're good to walk in all day, because man, Augusta is really hilly. You'll read this in all the posts, is that on TV, it doesn't do it justice. It's stinking hilly, and it kind of puts things into more perspective of how difficult the course is. But man, it's a really hilly course, and so bring really comfortable walking shoes. But yeah, first time we posted up was a hole 6. We were right up against the rope, so we can kind of see people. But pretty much it's kind of funny because below on hole number 6, there's people like that aren't visible, like down in the little I guess valley that's like below the green. So yeah, pretty much, yeah, started watching golf at hole 6 tee box after we put our chairs down and started walking around. So at 10:30, moved from the 6th tee box to the 5th green for a few shots, and then we ate some more food. And then at 11 o'clock, we moved from the 5th tee box, and then we saw a different group tee off. And so pretty much you kind of have to strategically, you know, think where the main people are at all times, and then make sure you catch them where you want to catch them later in the day. So yeah, I've just documented here, you know, multiple times, like where we moved. Saw Hideki, Tony Finau. I ended up like predicting where Tiger Woods was going to be because he was in the morning group, and we ended up just waiting for him on one of the greens. And so, you know, pretty like we were looking down the fairway where he was going to come up, and then you can just see the waves of people that are just following his group, because it was like he was just coming back, you know, to play. And yeah, just the respect he commanded was insane. So yeah, we waited for him around the green, and then posted up on hole 3 because we know he was coming up. And then just waves and waves of people are right behind him. And then I tell this to everyone pretty much, that like the respect that he commanded that day, and I'm sure what he commands, you know, all the time now, is that people will be chatting in the background, you know, with each other pretty much through everyone's golf shots except for Tiger. So when Tiger was hitting, it was dead silent. You could hear a pin drop, and then when he hit, people would respond, but like in like say, oh yeah, go Tiger, whatever. But like when he was swinging, no one was saying anything. It was insane. Literally no other golfer was treated that way, but Tiger was. Everyone kind of like held their breath or like watched him hit the golf ball, and it was crazy. You could hear a pin drop, like actually. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I noted in here I saw Larry Fitzgerald. Tiger Woods comes through, you know, he hits a long drive, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, noted some shots where Ricky comes through with Rory as well. And yeah, so we're just documenting and going through the day of what happened. And so around 12:04, We go to the restrooms. There's a huge queue for the restrooms, by the way. There's a lot of males, attending Augusta National, but they keep it fast. They have like bathroom attendants to tell you which stall is open or which urinal is open. Pretty funny there. So I got through that pretty fast, all things considered. Ate some more food. The food lines are actually pretty quick as well, but don't want to spend too much time in the food line. So we tried to go during off hours and just eat at whenever it was convenient for us, for saving a lot of time. Also, a side note is that they do have some stands to buy merchandise that are not the gift shop, like the big huge gift shop. But yeah, don't bank on it. I'm not sure where those will be posted up, if they're always posted up in the same spot. So at 12:43, we return to Amen Corner, and we see the Tiger group come through, and pretty much that's when I experienced that quietness at an all-time, I guess, effect, where Tiger and people being silent around his golf shots was like crazy, because most people that are on Amen Corner are just sitting there, and there's not a lot of foot traffic. So yeah, everyone literally was silent when he was hitting his golf ball. So yeah, pretty much for a while there, we sat there at around 12:40, like I said, when Tiger was there, and we kind of rested up a bit, because at that time it's the hottest part of the day, and Augusta with the humidity can get pretty hot. It did end up raining the next day, but that day was sunny and clear. A little bit of clouds, a little bit of shade, but when the sun hits, in that sun, it was pretty hot. It was pretty, not miserable, but it's pretty toasty, I'll say that. And so yeah, we stayed up there for a couple hours, actually. Yeah, we stayed there for a pretty long time, all the way up until like 2 p.m. Notable shots to put: big BDR ends up getting a birdie and back-to-back for him. Tiger and Rory both get on in 1 and 2 putt for par. So we ended up getting there, like I said, 12:43, but we were just waiting for that main group to come through, and they came through at 2 p.m. So like we waited there for like an hour, just resting up, watching people go through. So that's kind of how I approached it, is like walk the whole entire course, catch a few groups that you think are notable that you want to watch people hit shots. But then when your chair is, know who you want to see and kind of get a rough guesstimate of when the players that you want to see where your chairs are at, and then return to your chairs. That's kind of like how I did it. So we ended up staying there from like 12 o'clock to like 3:30. And then we ended up getting out of our chairs and started walking around even more. So about 4 p.m., we were at the 14th green. We saw Kevin Na. Dude was rocking the plaid pants. And then pretty much at 4:11, we went back to our chairs. So we kind of used it as like a satellite main hub to like go walk around, explore, and then come back to our chairs, because we were pretty tired. So yeah, 4:11 is actually when that latter half day schedule, where I mentioned like Bryson, DJ, and all of them were coming through. And so yeah, I wanted to watch them on that same hole. So depending where your chairs are, you kind of have to maybe use that as your hub to explore, and then come back when players of note that you want to see are around, and you can just enjoy it, and with good seats and and a good view. So yeah, pretty much after they went through, those main groups that I said before, we watched Phil Mickelson, Justin Rose, Justin Thomas. But yeah, around 5 p.m. after the main groups in the second half came through, picked up our chairs, we walked around, and then we posted up to hear some drives. Got to hear some drives from all these pros. And then we ended the day at like 5:52, and we walked up to 18 green. Notably, we saw Vijay Singh and Billy Horschel on the 18 green, and the 18th won't get as much action because it's a Thursday compared to a Sunday. But yeah, after that, we went at 6:08, we went to the shipping place, shipped our chairs, and at 6:21 we were pretty much done. And then at the end of the day, walked around 9 miles or 20,000 steps, and it was crazy. So yeah, that was pretty much my day at the Masters. Tips and tricks would be, gates open at 7, or I'm not sure if they changed it by now, but we got in before and waited with everyone, before the gates opened, went to the gift shop, bought our stuff, and shipped it off, and then waited for Ridley to do his chairman's introduction of Augusta and the legends teed off. But maybe if we were to do it differently, maybe as soon as the grounds open, just set the chairs down first, skip the intro where really was talking, and then go shopping, and then maybe that will secured us a better place to sit. But pretty happy with where we're sitting anyway. But if you're really set on like getting a good spot, maybe that should be the first thing you do. And if you're not into the merchandise, then you can skip that altogether. And some people didn't ship their stuff; they wanted to keep it on them, but we bought quite a bit. And I guess definitely think about stuff you will use after the fact for Masters gear. Like, I hardly wear the shirt. It's green. It's nice, but it's very green. I have a couple hats that are green as well. I would say go with the colors that you will wear the most, and then get some keepsakes like this flag, and then gear that you'll use the most, like my golf bag. So, but other than that, that was my not super detailed, but that was my day at Augusta. If you have any tips or tricks, put them down below in the comments. But yeah, pretty much that was like the most amazing, well-run event that I've ever been to golf-wise. I do like the fact that no one has their phone, so everyone's either chatting or paying attention to the actual golf and not like trying to record every single shot. And I don't think they'll ever change that rule, and I respect them for that, and I kind of enjoyed it. So, but yeah, that was my day at the Masters. Masters is coming up. I guess my pick for the Masters, I really want Colin to win, but his putting needs to improve, I think, in order for him to do well there. Could see another Scotty repeat easily. That guy's on fire. John Rahm's on fire as well. Rory's pretty hot. So everyone, I'm very curious to who's going to come out on top. I have a feeling it's going to be someone we don't expect. But hope you guys enjoyed that one. Keep chasing, and I'll see you in the next one.